Hello everybody, and welcome to a video where we're going on what is the easiest or the most fun character that I have ever played in Diablo 2. So one of the most popular uploads is where I go over which class do I think is the best, but I want to do a video now for what I actually think is the most easiest to play, perhaps even the class that's easiest to gear up, play Untwinked, and I also want to go over what character I find the most fun or potentially the most fun if you have the gear for it. So I want to start off with a Sorceress. I have tried 4 different Sorceress builds by now, so I'm missing stuff like bow, Sorceress and whatnot, but I've pretty much done all the Sorceress build by now that are worth it. I haven't done Firewall and all that kind of good stuff, but still, let's get on with it. Sorceress. This build requires specific breakpoints to reach in order to make it work, which is very hard for Untwinked, so you need faster cast rate gear. 105 faster cast rate is actually quite a lot to reach, and especially 200%, which is even expensive to get. So I would stay away from the Sorceress if you don't have the gear for it. I will however say that my sealed Sorceress build, if you look at the items that build uses, it's actually not very expensive. As long as you can live with a low amount of survival and in general not having that much overpowered stats or whatever. Feel like the sealed sorceress is actually also the most fun sorceress build that I have made. The 200% faster cast rate Nova is probably the best one, but I don't think it's the the most fun one. There's just something about that sealed sorceress that is just a lot of fun. Fire and cold is just totally crap compared to lightning and cold. I would never even bother saying that the fire tree is anything good at all. Like every build that you can do with a fire sorceress just seems completely crap. So I can go quickly in and show my sorceress here. So Fireball can go up as much as 20k, but the problem with Fireball is that it's a small radius, few yards, 1 yard, whatever, so the RE is not really there. Meteor is a delayed cast. There's just nothing really good about the fire tree at all, and that is why I feel like even with such good gear, 105% faster cast rate, I even have stuff like the Ormus plus 315 Fireball. With all this sort of stuff here, fire just completely pales even to cold, and cold is definitely the second strongest, whereas lightning is the strongest one. Lightning is the strongest because of all the synergies and infinity and stuff like that. Let's go on to the Paladin. I find the Smiter Paladin completely overpowered, but perhaps if I was playing, good, I had my tactics down, I would like the Hema Paladin even more. The Hema Paladin requires that you teleport stomp, and what is that? I can just quickly log in on a character now. This is also a character here where you need to tail stomp, so I need to explain what tail stomp is by showing it now. So as you can see, we pull the mobs here, but in order to say hit this mob at this side here, I need to teleport to it. So let's try and test that out on a mob again. Okay, say I want to, hit that big guy over there. I have to teleport to him and then I can hit him. I can't, go and be like here and then hit him. That's just too slow, and a lot of the projectiles from both Hammer or this druid here would miss. If you're good at telestomping, teleporting to the mob, the Hema Paladin is probably the strongest build in the game, just because it's high amount of damage, it's easy to max block, it has that 20,000 defense or whatever, it's good faster hit recovery breakpoint, It basically has a lot of things that are overpowered about it. It also has no mana problems because of the redemption aura. But I find that the Smiter Paladin is the most fun just because it's immortal, it's completely overpowered, survival, and it just, it feels right. It lacks AoE, it's definitely not that fun to play as well. I feel like the Paladin is probably one of the least fun classes and also one of the hardest classes to gear up because a lot of the gear is very expensive. Like the Hema Paladin needs an Enigma to be any good. Like you can't play a Hema Paladin without Enigma. It's never gonna work because Telestomp is that important. So let's go on to my little trap assassin. So a bit of a thing here. I have actually never done the melee version, doing say Dragon Talon or whatnot. I know about the builds a little bit, but I feel like this is like the Furry Druid. It's just not really that strong a melee build. It kinda doesn't do anything, amazing compared to the other melee classes in the game. So my focus is honestly mostly just about the traps here. And the traps are completely insanity. And that is mostly also due to Death Sentry. Death Sentry is just like the Corpse Explosion. It's just too strong. There's really no comparison there. If the assassin didn't have Death Sentry, it would probably be a bit more balanced. But yeah, I would say that the assassin is also a lot of fun to play, but only if you can get the gear. Like you can play a trap assassin with say a Hotu and a spirit shield, or maybe even a lightless shield and a +3 lightning sentry claw that you can buy from a shop. But if you play around with such low gear, the damage starts to be lacking. You also miss a lot of important stats that your weapons are gonna give you, and that is why I feel like nobody should play a trap assassin if they can't afford, you know, good gear. So what is good gear? That is a gear to reach a certain breakpoint for faster hit recovery, so you can teleport fast and spam mind blast fast. Yeah, basically these claws are just too expensive for your average dude. I have played this build before with Hotu and a Spirit Shield, but I never really felt like it was any good. But as soon as I got these two claws here, I got my helm and I got my amulet, the build was just so much stronger and so much more fun. But yeah, this is definitely one of the most expensive builds that you can build, mostly just due to the claws. Let's go over to my little barb here. I love this class. There's just something about it, but if I had to compare this one to any other class, it would have to be the Sealed Paladin. The Barbarian has more AoE, more health, perhaps even more survival than Smiter Paladin, but it does lack in, the Uber stuff, so it has some problems doing that really, really high intensity stuff. It's a bit of a problem getting max block on a Barbarian. You can go with a Grief and a Storm Shield, but it's just a bit annoying to get max block and a lot of defense on a Barbarian compared to a Paladin. So overall the survival is not that high on a Barbarian compared to a Paladin. But since I remade this to a Whirlwind, I kinda, really been enjoying the build. It has, good enough AoE, the single target is there. It just requires a bit of a focused play, which takes away some of the fun for me. So like, the Whirlwind needs to be used well. I can't just, fuck around with it. I really need to play it properly. Whereas, say, any caster class can just spam, 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 spam. Whereas you really have to do your rotation correctly for both Frenzy and Whirlwind, which takes away a bit of a. Another thing is that the Barbarian is almost too simple to play, so I'm using Berserk for, well, physical immunes and whirlwind for everything else. Then sometimes I use leap to
Not
get
here.
over things and just get out of the way, and then I might use a battle cry. It's pretty too damn simple, this build, and it's kind of boring in a way. You know, after the initial fun of whirlwinding, or running really fast with frenzy, it gets kind of old. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem there. But yeah, if you enjoy the bar for the simple gameplay, I suppose you should just go for it. Let's take the Javazon. This is like, I need to talk a bit about the gear. So the Javazon is not my favorite build, but it would be my favorite build if I could afford faster cast rate rings. Why? That is because, yes, it's fun with my faster run walk build, so I have faster run walk all about this character here, but even with a lot of faster run walk, it's just still not mobile enough compared to a sorceress. And that is why this build is never really gonna be, the top tier build for everything, the best class overall. But maybe if I could afford faster cast rate items and hit a decent breakpoint, I would perhaps like it more, just because having Enigma and a strong teleport is just so important for me. I feel like
Good
Enigma,
day.
it's just, yeah, it just makes or breaks a build. If you can use Enigma, it's just such a nice thing. But since I was talking a bit about the simple way of playing a Barb before, I want to also highlight just how simple this build is. I got my Valkyrie, I got my decoys, and that's pretty much everything I need to worry about. Never really gonna switch skills to anything else. I might use jab on physical immunes, but that's pretty much it. So I'm just gonna that's all I'm doing. And if I ever need mana, I have my switch. Oh, Phoenix with Thunderstroke for melee damage. It's such a relaxed and simple build. Like I could make my 10-year-old sister or whatever play this build and like record it, and you would think that it would be any other normal player that was playing it, another little kid, because that is just how easy to and what can you say, relaxed this build is. It's definitely just, yeah, there's just no fail about it at all. Breaking all immunes easily with infinity, and if you ever meet physical immunes, it's not really a problem anyways, because you do a lot of lightning damage. This is kind of like the Hema Paladin, whereas it doesn't have any resistance. It can hit everything in the game, and it hits both for the highest amount of AoE damage. The Lightning Fury has pierce and spreads and everything, plus Charged Strike is the highest amount of melee damage that you can do for any ability in the game. This class is completely overpowered. So let's also talk a little about Bow Amazon in the end. The Bow Amazon pales compared to the Amazon, even with very high gear. As you know, I'm a fan of using both Faith and Wind Fury, and I've tried both builds, but none of them has ever really been good to me. Like the Bow Amazon can probably do okay in chaos, spamming multiple shot arrow, so you're just gonna be running around on one player chaos and doing multiple shot arrows. But the cost, this is definitely why the Javazon is the easiest one. Even with low gear, the Javazon is very strong, whereas my Bow Amazon has, quite expensive inventories. Of course, I could get better inventory on mine, but even with very expensive items and expensive inventory, it's just not very strong at all. It's just lacking so much, and that's just why the Bow Amazon will never really be fun to play. It will never be fun to gear up, and it will never be better than the Amazon. So that was it for that one. Let's quickly go through it. It's a boring character for me. The summon build, you can summon all these different animals. That build completely sucks. Even with the best gear in the game, those summons are never gonna do any real damage. compared to say a summon necromancer. Wine Druid, as I mentioned before, the Hema Paladin requires Tail Stomp. The physical damage is annoying, and keeping up Hurricane every 1 minute is a bit annoying too. Overall, this character is just very weak. I will however say that Fury is actually a lot of fun. Uh, um, it lacks AoE, it lacks survival. I would say that even the Barbarian here has much better survival than the Fury Druid. But overall, the biggest problem with the Fury Druid is just that it lacks AoE. At least for the Furry Wolf. I haven't really tried Bear before, but I would say that even Bear form druids are not that good at AoE. And I also want to mention a little thing here. Furry druids cost a ton of gold. Like, it's just so expensive to build a good furry druid. It's mostly down to the weapons, so the weapons are very expensive. If you want a high-end furry druid, and that is also why you should probably avoid playing a druid altogether, especially if you can't get Enigma. Like, a wine druid without Enigma is useless, just like a Hema Paladin is useless without Enigma. And furry druids are too expensive, and they lack AoE. Actually, they both lack AoE, both furry and elemental. So yeah, the furry druid is very weak. My great necromancer. Why is this great? Well, that's because of one spell, Corpse Explosion. Honestly, if this class didn't have Corpse Explosion, it would be crap. So we have all these different curses, and they're all good for various builds. We have, you know, good survival, AoE control. We have really good ways to be PvP, so Bone is pretty good for PvP. You have a very strong AoE, probably one of the best looking AoEs in the game as well. It just looks a lot of fun using Poison Nova. And then we come to the summon tree. Revive is completely overpowered if you use it correctly. You get your crushing blow mobs like girders. They can kill a Uber boss in few seconds. Raise skeleton mages. These two together just make such a big army. The clay golem can survive anything, like you can do Ubers and it won't die once. Then you have all the synergies to summons. It's just so strong. But then we have to talk a little about Corpse Explosion. Corpse Explosion is what makes this build. Like, the only reason why we even play a summon necromancer is to just get survival and perhaps more boss damage. Because every other scenario you're pretty much just gonna get your army up and then spam Corpse Explosion. You barely even have to use your curses in normal gameplay and whatnot. Corpse Explosion is just, it should probably be nerfed. I feel like this ability is a little too strong just because it defines every necromancer build in the game. There's really no necromancer build that can live without this ability. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the necromancer. Fun build just because of the good AoE. But yeah, that was pretty much the end. I think I covered what I wanted to cover. I would love to know your thoughts on what you maybe think is the funniest class, the best class, the class that is easiest to play with, easiest to gear and so forth. So I'm gonna say here at the end, the easiest class to get really strong on, in my opinion, is a Javazon. If you can live without having teleport, even a very low geared Javazon is incredibly strong. If you're looking to do a really high tier of content, something that is very hard in the game, go for a Hema Paladin, just because it's such a strong character. It can get easy max block, high amount of defense and resistance. If you're looking for a very fun build that is not too expensive but does require some hard to get rune rates, go for a sealed sorceress. They are just so much fun. I've really been enjoying playing the sealed sorceress build. If you have a lot of gear and you're willing to really spend a lot of wealth on that single build, because you're never really gonna be needing 200% faster cast rate for anything else. 200% faster cast rate Nova build is just a lot of fun. It's amazing. It's hectic. It's great. It survives somewhat good. It has everything that I want from an AoE build. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I would love to know your thoughts and everything, so feel free to comment away. I hope this video maybe wasn't too boring to watch or whatever, but I always like doing these sort of one take videos where I just, talk how I feel like the classes are. But yeah, as always, have a good one.